What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Farm MLB DFS Game Day Playbook Live Show. We are looking at the 11-game Friday main slate, and it is Jacob the Grande here over on DraftKings and Baseball. Now, will we be using Jacob deGrom in our DFS lineups? Probably not, but it's good to see him back on the mound. Always great to see elite pitching healthy. And throwing. We'll see how long deGrom can actually stay healthy this time around. But always a privilege when he is on the mound. And you know what? If he comes out of this start clean, he'll at least be available and useful in some DFS slates moving forward. James, you and Henry did the preview show this morning. How do you feel about this slate today?
It is 11 games, and there's Coors Field. So I feel as good as I possibly can in that scenario.
It is 11 games. It is Coors Field. The Cubbies in Colorado here for this weekend. Looking at pitching, and Prince, I see your comment in there. Struggling on a build. We'll help you out here today, man. Don't worry. Throw your questions in the chat. We got you.
I raise my hand.
There. Happy Friday.
I raise my hand.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to start at the bottom of pitching today. Right to the bottom.
Basso?
Yep.
4K?
Exactly where I want to start.
He was the cover of the show. I figured we'd get there.
Yeah, that's where I'd like to start.
Okay.
Because I think, and salute to everyone tuning in. Happy Friday to you all.
Did you add Basso in our Roto League? Because I saw somebody picked him up.
I did. I did. So I think, like, in a lot of situations where we have, like, a 4K pitcher, you and I will just be like, well, he's 4K, like, he's an option. Right? Like he's $4,000. If he pitches average baseball, then like it's a win. If he pitches really well, like you have a chance to win a tournament. If he craps the bed, well, he's $4,000. It doesn't really matter today. And like this situation is as good as we've ever had for a 4K pitcher. He is fully stretched out. He gets the White Sox. It is a absolute no-brainer, and I would not care if Bradley Basso, if I saw an ownership report that had him listed 95%, I would still play him. I would not care. He is $4,000 on a Coors Field slate against the worst Major League Baseball team of all time, fully stretched out, coming off 6 scoreless innings. Right? I literally don't care about the result in DFS today. He is the correct SP2 to play.
What about your SP1 on FanDuel, though, as the Prince is questioning?
I mean, it's not $4,000.
Right. He's got to be pretty cheap, though. Is he 65, 7? What's the FanDuel price today?
His FanDuel price is $6,000.
Right.
So, like, you have $3,600 to build for the rest of your lineup. I think the clear number one pitcher today, at least in my opinion, is Bailey Ober.
Yeah.
I think that's like your number one pitcher. If you think that Basso can give you 30 fantasy points on FanDuel at $6,000, and if you think he has a chance to get a quality start, then sure. I think Ober's the better play on one pitcher. You're not wrong, Podigen. I mean, it is what it is, right? Threw me off my game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just think like on a 2-pitcher site, it's just allows you to do whatever you want with the rest of your builds. And if this is not the time to worry about, popularity in terms of like rostership and stuff.
Yeah.
$4,000 fully stretched out playing the White Sox, right? So that's where I'm starting builds today. I'm not overthinking it. I'm just playing him and then, using another pitcher the way that I normally would. But Basso, I think per dollar is like the best play of the slate, period.
I'm breaking sort of the cardinal rule in our seasonal league. I'm actually benching Ellie today in favor of Paredes, just given the matchup of Ober.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Ellie's probably going to strike out 3 times today. So I'm gonna give a sit. I'll play the Coors guy, and we'll hopefully that doesn't come back and bite me. So obviously over 86 per dollar. Your favorite player, your favorite starter, rather overall today. Cease gets San Francisco. That's been a spot we've been picking on here lately. Do you like the Dylan Cease spot here? I know he certainly has been shaky, but there is strikeout upside. I know we just faced this team as well, but what are your overall thoughts on the top price guys?
I mean, I think we haven't minced our words when it's come to Dylan Cease, or at least I haven't, since the no-hitter. He has looked poor. Yes, he just looked bad. So the matchups that he's had, I mean, 5 innings against Miami, 5 2/3 against Colorado, 9 hits against the Mets, 7 hits, didn't even make it out of the 5th against St. Louis, 5 innings against Tampa. I mean, 4 runs against San Francisco. What do we like about this? So, I mean, does he have the best matchup amongst all the top tier pitchers? Yes. I just don't necessarily care for any of them. You can play him in tournaments. Kikuchi, I think, is better than Cease, but even he has a tough matchup with the way the Angels hit lefties. But I don't think any of them are better than Bailey Ober. So I'm not really going Ober Bailey today at 8,600.
So you did there. All right, well, this is an 11-game slate. We like the 4K pitcher. We like Bailey Ober. Is there a guy between them that you're looking to pitch today? Because obviously, I mean, me personally, looking down this list, no one's like jumping out being like, oh, this is the spot that I want to pitch in. Like, how are you feeling about the rest, basically, of the pitching tier today?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, I do want to talk Jacob deGrom. I'm not using him. Okay. But like you said, it is good to see Jacob deGrom back. He didn't throw more than 50 pitches. He only threw 10 2/3 of rehab innings. They're just not going to be the cap or like the pitch limit that you need to pay off 8,500. I like Tanner Bybee, $8,300. I think the matchup is really solid. There's a lot of strikeout upside that is attached to Tampa Bay since the trade deadline. Tanner Bybee has been over a strikeout per inning. So I like Bybee, $8,300. That's like, it's just like not an appealing day of pitching, which is why I also am just plugging Basso in and kind of moving on. I have a very limited pitching pool. Like, I'm okay going to Clark Schmidt. Boston's been pretty bad lately. I want to attack Tanner Houck with however I can because he's pitching despite having a dead arm. I don't understand that one at all.
Because most of their pitching has dead arm at this point. They have nobody else to throw. So
I just don't. I mean, like, has to be somebody with an arm that works. It's quoted as literally saying he has a dead arm. I'm just so unsure how.
They don't want to waste any more like options on some of their minor league guys. So outside of, what was it? I'm going to go the way back machine here, but it was like Kansas City, like 1 month in like September, signed like Bruce Chen just to like throw some innings for them. Do you remember that like way back in the day?
No,
like,
but didn't Boston just did that for Rich Hill and then they released him?
It could have been a Hill spot. They had to call up Richard Fitz, and get him who actually pitched well in his debut start there. But yeah, basically they're trying to limit their moves here. So
King of Smack is in here talking about Garrett Crochet.
He's gonna throw 3 innings.
Well, I just don't understand that. Like, I understand like the premise of your statement. I understand that Garrett Crochet in like 2 of these
19 fantasy points. 3 innings.
in like 2 of these limited games has struck out a lot of people. In the other 4, he has not. And if you do not get the strikeouts, you are drawing debt. Like, when you're talking about like upside, that's not what someone who has a 50 pitch cap has. They don't. Like Jacob deGrom at 8,500. I don't care if he struck out 12 batters today. Like, you can't convince me that $8,500 was like a good price to pay for deGrom.
I will say this: Garrett Crochet's price is moving in the right direction. Where at some point, if he gets to like $5,500 by the end of the year, a conversation might be able to be had on a certain, depending on the slate. Obviously, if you're playing in tournaments and he's $5,500 and you know he's got 8 strikeouts and 3 inning upside, like you might take a flyer on that. I think,
Yeah, I mean,
it all depends on the price. When he's $8K and $7,500, no. But as the price starts to dip, the dude is a strikeout machine.
No, undoubtedly, but like,
today, no.
The problem is we have a massive slate.
Yeah,
we have a not short. I mean, there is a shortage of pitchers because a lot of them are not great. The Prince, I've already talked about Tanner Bybee, so you can just rewind a few minutes ago.
We're in Tanner Bybee. We're in Tanner Bybee.
Like, this is also a team in Oakland that, yes, do have strikeout deficiencies, but are relatively good against left-handed pitching. Now, they were the best. They are not. They are middle of the pack now. But like, I don't know what is there to like necessarily love? Like, are you playing Crochet over Basso, right? Who is $4,000 and isn't capped at pitch count and is facing the like? I don't know. I don't know what necessarily like. I get that like the idea of Garrett Crochet being under 7K is too cheap when Garrett Crochet was pitching in full.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And like I said, I think slate dependent and then obviously price dependent. Does that conversation become at least something to talk about? But right now, no go for me here. Anybody else for you?
No, nope.
Okay. Catcher. Where are we looking to go here today? You mentioned obviously going against Tanner Houck. Your guy Austin Wells is $4,400 there. Is that your top play today?
I mean, if you're spending up, I do think William Contreras is an elite option against lefties. Erod's been pretty bad. So William Contreras at 5,000 is really interesting. Wells is great hitting fourth against a pitcher, again, with a dead arm. That is what it is, but he does have a dead arm. Langolier is hitting third against Crochet plus the White Sox bullpen, who ranks last in ERA. That's a really good spot. Connor Wong homered hit a double last night, had a couple walks, had a really good game for the Red Sox last night. Then you have the Cubs catchers, like whoever starting in Coors Field this may be the game that he goes 5. They're limiting his innings though.
Yeah.
Like there is a specific limit. The conversation is not like, can he? They are just limiting him. That is something that the White Sox organization has decided to do. They are not allowing him to pitch further into games.
Yeah.
Because he has never thrown this many innings before. So, I'm good going to either Cubs catcher personally. I think they're obviously elite plays. Play like a Bo Naylor, Hunter Goodman against Javier Assad. Those types of names. I don't think we have Brewers. Do we have Brewers lineup? If El Gary's hitting in the middle of it, like you can obviously play El Gary as well.
Sure. Anything else for you, a catcher?
No.
Okay. First base. This is where maybe things get a bit interesting here because we do have Coors Field on the slate. We also have the pair of Dodgers up at the top with Freeman and Ohtani against Schwellenbach. Olsen gets Knack. Toglia at home against Assad. Some of your 5K up plays here.
Yeah, I mean, you can play the Dodgers, obviously. There's weather in that game, so it is worth monitoring. Yeah. That's the one game that has a weather concern. And it looks like it's just going to be that way. There is a hurricane hitting now, and it's going to affect the southeast part of the country once again. So we'll see what it's going to be in Atlanta, but if that game plays, they're fine. I like Christian Walker quite a bit. Freddie Peralta, we've talked about the splits all year long. Freddie Peralta's splits have been terrible against righties. Christian Walker has been good against righties. So I like Christian Walker. Contrarian stack is Arizona. Matt Olson, great tournament play if that game plays. And Tolia, as you mentioned, I mean, it is what it is. No one plays the Rockies ever. No one's going to play the Rockies. Everyone's going to play the Cubs. If you want to play Michael Tolia, you will be alone in that. But I think he's a perfectly fine GPP pivot because no one's going to want to play him. Javier Assad has gotten progressively worse as the season's gone on. He is relatively good against lefties. Some of the expected numbers, though, suggest there's been a lot of luck on his side. So, I'm good getting to Tolia as well.
Sure. Mid-tier guys for us. Nailers, $4,500. Yanier Diaz obviously has catcher eligibility, first base eligibility against Al-Jahiri. Horwitz getting cleaned up against Fetty tonight. What are your thoughts in the mid-range?
Nailor's obviously great. Run production's elite. Horwitz has been amazing. Fetty's been struggling a little bit. And not really afraid of going to Luke Raley, just knowing that DeGrom's obviously not going to be in for the long haul. So we'll get half the game against that Texas bullpen. So those would probably be the mid-tier options for me.
Sure. Anybody else value for you?
Pavin Smith hitting 5th at $3K. Manzardo 2,700 for Cleveland would be the two.
Alrighty. Second base then. Is this a spot where we're looking to spend up tonight, or are we going back to our value plays?
Yeah, of course. If you want to use Ketel Marte, it's a great contrarian spot for Arizona against Freddie Peralta. Nico Horner's been really good lately. Would I pay $5,100 for him? Maybe. Maybe this is is a spot that you could actually make a case for. Mm-hmm. Brennan Rodgers, we know his historical splits have been really good at home. If you want to be contrarian, you play the Rockies. Jimenez hitting second has been fine. Been stealing a lot of bases lately, or getting picked off. Whichever he prefers to do. He one or the other. It's been a lot of fun. And then, like you said, there's just infinite value. Gleyber Torres, I keep saying it, has been great for the Yankees out of the leadoff position. You could play him at $3,800. Brendan Donovan, $35. He's also been amazing of late. Will Wagner hitting 5th, $3,300 against a struggling Fetty. We have Zach Geloff, who's going to somehow stumble into a 2020 season this year.
Dude, isn't that crazy? I clicked on his name the other day, and I was like, when did this happen?
Yeah, he's going to have 20 outside chance of 20-30 if he just steals a bunch of bases at the end of the year.
Hot, yeah.
Julien, we've talked about it a lot. He has not been great. Aguiar allows a lot of fly balls and has no strikeout stuff. This is a tailor-made spot for Julien, who does strike out a lot and can hit for a lot of power at second base. So I like Julien at $3,100 leading off again. If you want to go back to the value route, you absolutely can.
Sure. Third base. Up at the top, Jose Ramirez, Rafael Devers, Jazz Chisholm, Ryan McMahon, Manny Machado, and Royce Lewis are your 5K and up tier.
Jose Ramirez, another guy who's just stealing bases every day. So, 4 straight games with a stolen base. Haven't even really gotten the stealing game out of him. This could be the game against Little. So I like Jose Ramirez. Can play Devers. We know the Clark Schmidt stuff for the last few years has been lefty driven. He has struggled with lefties. McMahon is a little bit interesting. He's been pretty good lately in Coors Field. Obviously, we know there's a bump. I don't know if Royce Lewis is broken. They took a grand slam away from him yesterday. That was possibly tilting for some people in this. But he had been super broken until I tweeted that he was broken, and then hit a grand slam that wasn't deemed a grand slam. This is a great spot. No strikeout upside on the other side, a lot of fly balls, and he's been great at home. So Royce Lewis is fine in tournaments. The Paredes stuff is gonna tilt me one way or another because he's been better lately, obviously, but man, he's been so bad as a Cub. He has been so bad as a Cub, and this is an elite spot. gets the correct split, that he is damaged for multiple years against a pitcher who, allows a lot of power to right-handed bats. But man, he has not looked good for other than a 3-game span. So,
All right.
Paredes at 49 is going to be a very interesting candidate. Or just how the slate ends up and how he ends up. I don't think we have just got a report that Shohei Ohtani might pitch in October, which is same report right before that was Tyler Glasnow elbow suffers step back. So seems like a very good idea to have your pitcher or your $700 million man pitch coming off.
Rush him back, right? It's supposed to miss the whole year. Rush him back to pitch in postseason.
You have not lost your whole rotation already this year.
Just let him hit, man. Yeah.
Anyways, that's bizarre. Eugenio, Muncy here, Bregman. I think that's kind of an elite tier. Muncy is obviously on a little bit of a power surge. He does this very often when he's healthy. He's a 40 home run guy. Eugenio Suarez, has to be one of the single greatest turnarounds in a season I've ever seen. Where Eugenio Suarez was 2 months ago to the player that he has been Aaron Judge for the last 2 months, and nobody cares that he's been Aaron Judge for the last 2 months.
I care because he's on the best team in the league in our.
Well, yeah, sure. Well, yes. Well, there's a reason. 7 home runs in his last 10 games.
That's absolutely insane.
He was getting benched. He was not a full-time player, and this is a great split for him. Doesn't matter that he's hitting 7th. This is an elite lineup. You can play Suarez, Bregman in a really good spot. I don't think we've got an Astros lineup. That's because I think we're still waiting on the is Altuve going to play status. Yeah. So Bregman led off without Altuve yesterday. I would go back to that well against Algieri here, 4,700. Josh Young homered again yesterday. He's been great. It's a very appealing 4K tier overall for sure.
Sure. If we work our way down into value, anyone stick out to you? We got, I know you like Basso. We got a 2,600 leadoff hitter in Brian Ramos.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also not against playing White Sox. If there's ever a time that they could possibly win a game, I don't know if you saw the stat. The Bears and the White Sox have the same amount of wins since August 1st.
Oh.
Or same amount of wins in Chicago or whatever the stat is. I mean,
there was also one that I think I sent you that the Boston Celtics and the Chicago White Sox have the same amount of wins since March.
I mean, what are we doing? So yeah, if you want to punt because the field is going to play the other guy, right? Hey guys, Nick Pivetta beats it out. Yeah,
he did.
Nick
did. That happens with Nick Pivetta, right?
Welcome to the Nick Pivetta experience. He is. It is a wild ride.
It is a very wild ride. All right, let's go on to the shortstop position here.
Deep dish pizza has that effect on people. I mean, if I lived in Chicago, I would be definitely enjoying a lot of deep dish pizza. So I'm sure Isaac Paredes is doing the same.
I got I'm a Costco member. I don't know if you're a Costco member.
Are you? No big deal. I'm an executive member, but
there you go. They had a discount on some Chicago deep dish pizza if you ordered 4 of them. They come frozen.
Okay.
They supposedly really good. I didn't get them, but just shout out deep dish pizza. I wish I could remember what the name of the brand was now, but supposedly it's pretty legit. There's my cat. Also likes the deep dish pizza there.
Sure.
All right, shortstop. Are we spending up for Tovar at 55? Dansby with as good as he's been, 46. What do you think here?
Yeah, I mean, I just will blanket statement say that if you want to play the Rockies low, and you can, right? Yeah. Because it's in cores, and they have random blow up potential in cores. I think Swanson's a great play. He's great against lefties, hitting over 300 on the year against left-handed pitching. So, gets a bad lefty, is hot. So I like Swanson. I love Zach Nato against a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
I've loved Zach Nato against all handedness pitchers lately, but he has been especially good in his 2 years against left-handed pitching. So I think that's an elite play. My arch nemesis, Jeremy Pena,
Pena gets a lefty here.
I hate it. I hate
Probably
every
hit cleanup or something
He's
tonight,
absolutely
right?
going to hit cleanup. And if you play a Houston stack, and you avoid him, he will homer. And if you play him, he will go 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. There's
Who's
no
got more
in-between.
power on the Dodgers, Tommy Edman or Shohei Ohtani?
Tommy Edman, no doubt.
Tommy Edman, hands down, right?
Only when there's
double
lefty,
dongs?
Well, lefties, both games.
Still.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying he has legit been great against lefties his whole career. He has been a plus hitter against lefties.
He doesn't have back-to-back double dong power, but here we are, right?
Dude, the Dodgers park, there is really the ball travels.
It's a short
in that
wall.
ballpark.
It's a short wall, right?
It really does travel in that park. He is obviously loving it. He does. I said this on the pre-show. He has done a little bit of everything lately. Steals, the runs driven in, the runs scored, the home runs. I am good with playing Tommy Edman in any scenario. Elite MPE. Anthony asking is Volpe. I would say Volpe's obviously been bad. Also, Tanner Houck has a dead arm. So there's a chance Tanner Houck can't throw a baseball. So yeah. Suarez of Arizona. Yeah, we just talked pretty highly of him. He's good at baseball.
Yep, agreed. Values?
I don't love the value tier. You could play Jacob Wilson. You could play Rocchio, who's been good. You could play Brooks Lee. You could play Arcia against a righty. Nothing stands out.
Outfield we go then. Obviously a big slate, so plenty of talent. Give me some of your top guys.
Roth dropped the weather concern to yellow. Okay, thank you, Power. Well, that's good. There is still a hurricane in the area, so that's something to obviously monitor. You're gonna obviously play any of them. Judge currently the longest streak of his career without a home run, 16 games. That is absurd to say out loud, but it is. Obviously, if Tanner Houck can't throw the baseball and get his sinker to sink, that means the sinker becomes flat fastball goes out of yard. So Judge and Soto are both elite if you want to get there. I'm good with playing either Houston spend up. And obviously, if you want to get to the Cubs, they're all over 5K, but they're all elite. And this is the part of the program where it annoys me that I don't have Cody Bellinger first base eligibility or something, because we have 4 Cubs outfielders that will likely be in the lineup. And you can't play 4 Cubs outfielders. And also your position eligibility really sucks if you play 3 Cubs outfielders here because you just have no flexibility. But I'd rank them Seiya, Happ, Bellinger, but you can play all of them.
Okay. Second half of the 5K tier. Again, so many players. Give me a shout on some of these guys for you.
I just mentioned Ian Happ, so
that's fine. 4K range then. Got a returning Buxton in 6 today.
Yeah, I'm good with Twins. They've been pretty bad, but obviously Buxton's in a pretty good spot. Chourio gets a lefty. He's amazing. Taylor Ward is amazing. He's crushing left-handed pitching this year. He's crushing every version of pitching lately. Yeah. 5 home runs over his last 10 games. So Ward, Chourio, Jock Jams at 44. They're all elite. McCarthy hitting 6th. Langford, Lane Thomas drove in another run yesterday. All he does is drive in runs of late.
Right. This guy was ice cold for since the deadline, basically. And now last week, just absolutely unstoppable here.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Let's see. Any other value plays? We work our way under 4K.
I'm not shying away from Oakland today. I know we had talk about Mississippi Gulf Coast. We went right through it Wednesday. Okay. Well, good. First off, good to hear that you're okay, King of Smack. I'd be okay playing Oakland, knowing we're going to get a limited crochet plus extended White Sox bullpen. Yeah, that's appealing. Newt Barr has been absolutely hammering baseballs. If you want to play him, 1100 OPS lately, you can do that. Trevor Larnack or Matt Wallner, whichever you play, the other one will homer.
Feels like our Twins day, right? Like getting an Aguilar here.
If you do play them, just know that they're not going to homer. If you don't play, or if you play either of them, they're going to or both. Well, between Wallner and Larnack, they're both going to go for. And then if you play one or the other, good luck because the other one's going to homer. It's just impossible to get them right, but it is a good spot because Aguilar can't strike people out. Nathan Lukes is hitting second tonight. I do like that spot quite a bit. The question about San Fran. I mean, I do think like there's some viability to it.
Sure.
He hasn't been great. The bullpen is a tough thing to crack though. So like even without Cease in the game, it's really hard to get to that bullpen. So low probability that they're like an optimal stack, but you could. Daz Cameron's hitting $3,100. We know he has power against lefties. He also has a very low floor and a high probability of being pinch hit for. But
yeah,
he's in a obviously if you're stacking Oakland, he's in an optimal lineup position.
Verdugo's been a little bit better lately. You're talking dead arms for Houck. You wrap around stack with him hitting ninth. It could be make it easier to get Judge in them in your lineup.
Yeah. No.
Indifferent. He's hitting over 300. It's Yankee Stadium, short porch, Tanner Houck.
It's Alex Verdugo. I don't know. He started off the year really well. Yeah. I understand he has like been better.
Over 2 games ago.
I mean, if you want to play Alex Verdugo 3,200,
you do your Verdugo Torres Judge stack. You know,
Soto hitting second. Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay. All right, let's get a lineup then. Obviously, we got a 4K and Basso, and we got Ober. So plenty of money, plenty of doll hairs to play with today.
We're gonna play. Yeah. I want to play Cubs. I mean, it's a good spot.
Yeah, that's fine. So what do we think? Dansby,
Seiya, whatever catcher. We don't have a lineup yet, so whatever catcher is in the lineup.
Let's go with Maya for now. All right, we got. Are we 4 stacking like Paredes? Do you want to go Happ or Bellinger? Like, what do you?
I mean, we can. Paredes is gonna be a disappointment. Or if we don't play him, he's gonna homer. I'd prefer probably Happ would probably be the preferred target.
Okay.
Obviously, just plugging 2 outfielders. I never would plug 3 because it's just you were just.
Yeah, then you wasted. Yeah, I agree. All right, first base then. Do you go totally on the other side? Just get a little game stack going?
You can play any of the 5. I think anyone over 5K is in our player pool. I think it's an elite spend up today. I mean, the Dodgers are in the toughest spot, but like they also homer. They hit like 4 home runs a game. So
you just have so much money that we can really do whatever we want. I like the Yankees shout. So if you do Torres, and can we get like a Soto in there?
Probably.
And I guess this is a 3K third baseman. Just anybody? Is there 3? We're so close.
I mean, you could just not play like Tolia, and you can play like a Naylor or a Horwitz or something.
Sure.
Horwitz 1-off 4,100. He's been like crushing baseballs.
I like the Naylor 35. Of course, Horwitz and Barger end up like connecting with each other there. Let's see. Is Betancourt cheaper than?
You'll get Joey Ortiz 33. I mean, he gets Erod. He's also really good against lefties.
I like that. Where is he? 3,300. Okay, that gives us $200. Let's see. Does that do us anything different here? Just gives us another guy there. All right, we'll run this out. Basso, Ober, Amaya, Naylor, Torres, Ortiz, Swanson, Suzuki, Happ, and Soto. We got the 1-2 stack for the Yankees. We got the 4 stack for the Cubs. 1-off play of Ortiz and Naylor. Example lineup for tonight. Any final thoughts, words for the folks at home?
Anthony Schmidt and Littell. Like Zach Little is such a mediocre pitcher. The Guardians did lose Stephen Kwan, so if you think that makes a big difference, um, he's been pretty, again, mediocre against both splits. No, I'm kind of indifferent there. I probably wouldn't use him. I think Clark Schmidt's a good pitcher, but is just making his second start from the injured list, and he threw 75 pitches in his debut. Does that mean he throws 90 in this game? Does that there hasn't been a specific workload answer on that front. So
Yeah.
if we know that Clark Schmidt's going to throw like 90 pitches, I'm fine with it. But if it's going to be like a limit, he's in the same price range as like Tanner Bybee, who has an infinitely better matchup, or just a couple $100 cheaper than Bailey Ober. So I would just pick both those guys over Schmidt.
Yep. All right, guys, that's today's show. We appreciate you all tuning in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you're not yet a member of the Fantasy Farm family, now is your time. Again, we still have the 7-day free trial going on. And when you sign up at Fantasy Farm, promo code Let's Go, that first month after the free trial is less than $20. Get access to our NFL DFS, MMA DFS, MLB, PGA, NASCAR, all the good stuff behind the paywall here at Fantasy Farm for free for 7 days when you sign up today at fantasyfarm.com/win. James and I'll be back next week. Till then, everybody enjoy your weekends. Good luck with your contest.